everybody? Blue Suit Reviews coming at you with a brand new video. I was thinking about something I've never done since I've had the channel is I don't think I've ever done a cold start. We're gonna fix that right now. In this video, I'm talking about Dodge Challenger HellCat, Charger HellCat equipment. All right, so we got a rack kit here. So we start at the front of the car. You go to the grill. So the Scat Pack 392 that I had, it actually had fog lights. This does not. This actually has open functional screens down at the bottom, and the reason is because over here on where I'm pointing is the intercooler chiller, and over here, or the intercooler, over here is the oil cooler. And I don't know if you can see that or not, but there's a little radiator in there, and there's a little radiator in there, and in the middle of the big radiator is your regular engine cooling radiator. And as we go to the top of the hood, we got a big scoop right here in the middle that sucks in air. Weird thing about this is I think this works more for heat extraction than anything else helps with the heat extraction, because the way the air box is set up, the car actually gets its air in an intake from underneath the car. And the actual scoop to get the air is underneath that, right underneath the front of the car, where the splitter is. So we got the big intake right here in the middle, which that looks cool. And we got two big functional heat extractors on either side of the hood. And in the middle of the hood, you got this big cowling. Just a good design. I think it's a nice design. As you know, I got my hood pins that I installed myself because I like that 1970s look. The story behind the hood pins is back in the original muscle car racing days, those guys had to have something to hold the hoods down while they race, and the hood latch assembly was too heavy. It's like the hood latch assembly out, and you put hood pins in. The hood pins hold the hood down. So mine are more for aesthetic reasons. I would never drive without a hood latch because I think this would probably end up tearing up my hood, even though they look nice. But yeah, those are because I like the way they look. Even though I want them to be functional and all of that, I still really got them because of the way they look. Alright, so if we move around the side of the car, we're going to go to the wheels. If you look inside the wheel, you have a two-piece slotted rotor, not drill, two-piece slotted rotor, and a 6-pin piston Brembo brake caliper with carbon brake pads on the inside of that from the factory. So I have not changed my brake pads yet. I want to do my rotors and my calipers at the same time. So I haven't changed my brake pads yet. Behind that rotor is a coilover. It's a strut. And it has a wire that's connected to the car that allows you to adjust it from inside the car. And I'm going to make another video that talks about that. If you go around the side of the car, nothing different from any other Challenger that you'll see. All of the body panels are the same. Here in the back of the car, it actually has a spring and a shock. So it's got a shock absorber and a spring. There aren't coilovers in the back. But if we look behind the wheel, it's a 4-piston Brembo brake caliper with the regular carbon pads that came with the car, and a slotted, a one-piece slotted rotor. So in the back is a little bit different than the front. The front of the car has all your stopping power. So obviously, we spent a lot of time, effort, and money on the front when it comes to stopping power. So in the back here, nothing different than any other Challenger that you're gonna see on the road. I did make a few changes that I'm gonna talk about in a different video. It didn't come like this. I actually had an SRT emblem up here, and in the middle over there where I now have HellCat logo said Dodge right across. So drum roll, please. Under the hood. So this is what you've been waiting for. This is the car's power plant, and when I get to talking about the car's power plant, I'm going to quickly go over the transmission. Anyway, what we got under here is basically stock, mostly stock. What I see people do is they'll change this pulley right here on the top, and then a couple of the pulleys on the bottom, in order to get the supercharger to spin faster, and that actually makes more horsepower. I have some reservations about doing that. I am going to get into some under the hood mods, but I don't want to do it that way. I'm going to talk about why I don't want to do it that way in a different video. Over here you got the stock air box. I did put a K&N high flow filter in there, so that's not stock anymore, but I'm going to talk about that in a different video, why I did that, why I feel like it makes for a better sound. Whether or not it adds any horsepower, that's absolutely null and void, because I don't think it does at all. Matter of fact, I've done enough research to know that it doesn't, but it makes it sound different, which is crazy. Mostly stock. This is not stock, that is not stock. I'm going to talk about those two things in a different video. These caps are all colored differently than when I bought the car. So I think that cap was yellow, that cap was black, that cap was black, the oil cap back there, those two caps that are covering the AC lines were all black, but I changed that. Enough with the little things, let's talk about the engine itself. So what you're looking at is a 6.2 liter supercharged engine. So it's a 6.2 liter engine with a 2.3 liter supercharger on top. I can't really remember if it's a root style or the twin screw. I think it's a root style supercharger. Go look up what a root style supercharger is. It's an old supercharger style, but it's pretty good. Now, this supercharger is definitely not going to be as great as like a Whipple or one of these aftermarket chargers, one of these companies that does nothing but make superchargers for engines to make them go really fast. But for a stock supercharger, I really think that this thing does a great job at getting you the air that you need to go fast. So again, 6.2 liter engine, Hemi V8 with a 2.3 liter supercharger on top. Over here, right here in front, you got the supercharger snout. So this is how the supercharger gets its air, and once the air leaves the supercharger, it goes right down into the engine. If we go over to the left side of the engine bay, you have the fuse box, and then you have some wires under here. You have lines that obviously go all over the car. So this is covered, and then that's obviously your fuse box, so it's got to be covered if you don't want anything bad to happen. But this guy back here, that is the intercooler coolant reservoir. So this guy actually runs right, the lines from it run right down beside the washer tank to the intercooler. And what the intercooler does is it sends coolant to the supercharger to keep the supercharger cool. So this thing gets very, very hot. As a matter of fact, it gets hot enough to be able to say it's an engine in itself. And it has to be cooled separately than the engine. And another crazy thing about this is down here is the oil cooler. So not only does the engine have to be cooled with the coolant from the regular engine radiator reservoir, but the intercooler has to be cooled separately, and then the oil has to be cooled separately because all of this together just makes so much heat that you could probably burn down a house. So you gotta try to keep all that stuff cool. Anyway, that's the engine bay. I'm gonna get off of that, and I'm gonna talk real briefly about the rest of the drive chain. So underneath the car, you have a 6-speed Tremec, manual Tremec transmission. This is the Dodge Challenger HellCat, which is not that much different than the Dodge Charger HellCat, and I love it. I love this car. I mean, it's actually something I've been wanting to get for a lot of years. I looked for it for a whole year before I actually settled on this one, and I have not been disappointed. Like, I've owned this car for 5, almost 6 months, since January, the beginning of January. Please watch my video talking about it. And yeah, this is the truth right here. Anyway, that's it for this video. I appreciate you tuning in. Like, share, subscribe. Leave a comment in the comment section below if you can. Before I close this video out, I want to give a big shout out to Paul from Garage Driven. He just recently became monetized. That man is doing some great things over on his channel. If you have not seen his channel, please go check him out. Beyond the fact that he's one of the only chargers around here that's on bags. Yeah, I did say that he's on bags. All of the other things that he's done, do not quote me on that stuff. You really got to go check out his channel. You will not be disappointed. So go do that. Anyway, I appreciate you tuning in. Blue Suit Reviews. See you later.